When people talk about the Daybell case, the focus often falls on the perpetrators, but sociology asks a different question. What can we learn from the lives of the victims? Behind every headline was a child, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, and a member of a community. This video examines the victims not as characters in a crime story, but as people whose lives reveal important truths about family, social vulnerability, and human connection. Sociology views individuals as embedded in networks of relationships. No one exists in isolation. Every person occupies multiple social roles: child, parent, sibling, aunt, uncle, friend, neighbour, and community member. The victims in this case were connected to dozens, sometimes hundreds of people whose lives were also affected. When violence occurs, the damage spreads through entire social networks. A victim's life affects an entire community. One of sociology's most important insights is that childhood is a socially protected stage of life. Children depend on adults for safety, education, emotional support, and survival. Children cannot fully protect themselves. Society creates institutions designed to safeguard them, whether it be families, schools, healthcare systems, child welfare organisations, and communities. The tragedy involving Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow reminds us how dependent children are upon the adults who were entrusted with their care. Sociologists describe this as structural vulnerability that exists not because of individual weakness, but because of one's social position. Families are among society's oldest institutions. They provide emotional bonds, protection, identity, and socialization. Most societies assume family relationships will be guided by obligations of care. Parents are expected to protect children. Spouses are expected to support one another. Extended family members often provide additional layers of support. The Daybell case shocked the public because it represented a profound violation of these expectations. Sociologically, such cases generate intense reactions because they challenge foundational assumptions about family life itself. Victimization extends far beyond those directly harmed. Sociologists often refer to secondary victims. These include grandparents, siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins, friends, teachers, neighbours, and community members. Every single missing person search, every unanswered phone call, every uncertain day creates ripple effects throughout social networks. Trauma is often collective. Entire communities can experience grief, confusion, and loss. The death of Tammy Daybell highlights another sociological theme: gender and family roles. Women are often expected to perform emotional labour within families and communities. They maintain social relationships, support social cohesion, and provide care for others. Tammy's family co-workers and friends and community members frequently described her through these social contributions. Her loss was therefore not only personal, but it represented the removal of an important social connector within multiple networks. She was a beloved family member and community member to many. I would also argue that Charles Vallow was the same. He was a beloved family member, friend and colleague to many, and a role model, and he was part of his own community, the same way Tammy Daybell was in her life. Sociology reminds us that individuals contribute to communities in ways that are often invisible until they are gone. Not all victims receive equal public attention, and sociologists study this phenomenon through the concept of the ideal victim. Society tends to focus more intensely on the victims who fit certain cultural expectations, say looking at children, innocent bystanders, and individuals who are perceived as being especially vulnerable. And in the Daybell case, at the start, the public and media attention heavily concentrated on the missing children. This was because there was a sense of urgency to locate them, which is totally correct and understandable. However, media created a fascination with the perpetrators during the course of raising awareness of the missing children. Victims' family members honour all of the victims equally, and they always have done, despite the overemphasis and fascination with the perpetrators by the media in general. Understanding this pattern helps us recognise how media narratives can shape public memory. Following tragedy, communities often create rituals of remembrance, memorial services, vigils, public tributes. These rituals serve part of an important social function whereby they help communities process grief. They reaffirm our shared values and they remind us they remind people that they're not alone. Sociologist Emile Durkheim, for example, argued that collective rituals strengthen social solidarity, and in moments of tragedy, communities often come together to reaffirm what they believe matters most. A sociological analysis of the Daybell victims is not primarily about how they died. It's about how they lived, the individuals that they were when they were alive, not about the perpetrators. Their lives reveal the importance of family, community, caregiving, social responsibility, and real human connection. The greatest lesson may be that people are never isolated individuals. They are part of larger networks of love, obligation, and belonging. And when one life is lost, an entire social world is affected. Understanding those connections helps us see the victims not simply as names in a criminal case, but people whose lives mattered far beyond the tragedy that brought them public attention in the first place. That is how it should be ultimately. So I'd like to dedicate this video to Charles Vallow, Tammy Daybell, Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow, Brandon Boudreau, the names of the victims. Thank you.